Okay, so this is the end of April, and that is what my April tokens looked like. Right, welcome to Afternoon Literature. So, as you can see, I managed to actually read quite a few books. For contemporary, I read After the End by Claire Mackintosh, which I enjoyed. It was okay. It wasn't as good as I was hoping, but you know, it's just not massively for me. So the next book I read was Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. So Sleeping Giants is a sci-fi book, so that was there for the prompt of science fiction. Again, I enjoyed the beginning of this, but didn't enjoy the end of it, and there's more if you watch my discussion video where I tell you why. But I'm glad I read it. I wouldn't have picked it up otherwise. So the next book I read, because I really actually wanted a sci-fi that I would enjoy, was Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Now, I really liked Gemina. I mean, it was a brilliant book. It's 5 stars. It made me immediately want to buy Obsidio, which I will talk about more later. But yeah, so that was a very successful part of my tokens. Now we get to the less successful part of the month. So for starter series, I read Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell. I DNF'd this after 36%, but because we got to 36%, we can count it. And yeah, it's a kid's book. It's just a bit too young for me. I read as much of it as I possibly could before I decided that it just wasn't going to be what I really wanted. So after that, for Around the World, I was reading Into the Hands of the Soldiers by David Kirkpatrick, and this was good, just extremely heavy. I got halfway through this, and for now I have DNF'd this book. I will go back to it and I'll probably dip in and out, but yeah, it's just so heavy to read. Okay, so my Moody Wayne pick was The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, and I'm still reading this book. So I'm halfway through it, I'm 200 pages in, so I'm not going to count this as completely done, but I'm not also going to count it as like failed challenge. So I'm just going to keep reading that next month, so that will stay on the board until I have actually finished it, because I'm enjoying it. It's just taking me a little while to get through it. And then the next book that I was listening to was Becoming by Michelle Obama, but it doesn't actually fit any of these prompts, and I'm listening to it on audio, so I'm just going to put that to the side as something that I'm reading. I then also brought Ghostcatcher by Sophie Green, which is the third in the Pocket of Stub series. Yes, bought. Oops. But I did read it and finish it immediately. Okay, so now for I think this is my mood read. I read Postmortems by Carla Valentine, and I finished this. It's non-fiction about a mortuary technician. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars, and I finished that prompt. And then my final prompt, which was my free choice square, I read and finished Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. So that was April. I read as much as I possibly could. I wasn't feeling reading loads, but I'm really happy that I did manage to read 7 books if I include Ghostcatcher by Pocket and Stubbs. I DNF'd technically 2 of them in Wizards of Once and Into the Hands of the Soldiers. And then I still have some prompts unfinished, but they'll just stay uncovered on the board for me to try and get next month. Okay, so this is a new part of this game. Now, I had a really bad month. I think we all have had this feeling. So I purchased 9 books that I should not have bought in any way. I didn't have the tokens for them, but I desperately felt like I just needed to buy them. And so I have made this forfeit board. So 9 books, 9 forfeits. The forfeit board is a combination of different things, such as my mum or sister or a friend picking my TBR, which means that I will have less control over them, or there's something that makes it a little bit more challenging. So the idea is I'll still use the original prompts that I roll and get this month, but these are additional challenges that I have to try and meet. Okay, so I'm going to do a digital roll for us just because it's a little bit easier, and let's get this going. My 9 forfeits for this month. So, forfeit number 1 was to lose a circle. So that means that I go back a step away from completing my boards entirely, and that is one of the punishments for having purchased some extra books, which is fair enough. Or at least at this point it is. Number 12 was that I had to pick a 2-star prediction. So one of the books that fits the prompts this month needs to be a book that I'm looking at and I'm not sure I'm going to like. It's one of those sketchy, iffy ones. Roll number 8, then, did I not write it down, did it? I must have tapped it again. Okay, so at this point now, I need to, oh, yes, okay. So at this point now, I got the worst square on my forfeits, and that is, in order to count any circle this month, I must finish all of the circles. So it's the biggest challenge. It means I can't miss anything out or anything like that. I've got to finish everything. Otherwise, even if I finish 5 books, I can't count those 5 because I haven't finished the whole TBR. Okay, so the next forfeit was that my mum is going to pick a book. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to select 5 books that fit one of the prompts, and then I will, out of those 5, my mum will pick which one I will actually read. Okay, so the next one is that I need to pick something that I've been on my TBR for at least 5 years. So something that's going to push me to read a book that I was once excited about, but that has become way old and that I'm no longer as excited about. Okay, so the forfeits so far, they've been a bit harsh, but now they're going to get worse. Now they're going to be even harsher. So I've now just lost 2 circles. So at this point, I have lost 3 of my circles. This is going to essentially wipe out all the progress that I made last month overall, and I am gutted about it. Right, so the next one was that I need to have a friend pick a book. So the same deal with my mum. I will, for one of my prompts, I will pick up a little stack of 5 books, and I will ask one of my friends to select the one that I will actually read from that. And then I rolled a 1 again, and this is such a D&D thing. I keep getting natural ones and keep failing, and I've now lost another 2 circles on my TBR tokens board. I am so gutted. This is the worst idea I ever had at this point. And then finally, roll number 9, lose another circle. So I have no idea why I put so many lose circle squares on there, or why I'm punishing myself so much. But to be fair, I did buy 9 more books, and so that makes sense. This forfeit board is going to be something that I'm going to be using, maybe not every month, but it's going to keep going forward. The idea being that if I don't manage to finish my tokens and my TBR, I'm going to give myself a forfeit each month. Okay, so let's get into the actual rolls then for May. So we're now coming up with, what do I actually need to read in May? And I am so happy and excited now to be finally finding out, because I am eager to get on with this list. So the first thing I have to do in May is I have got to lose 6 of my hard-earned circles. Now, admittedly, I have made the choice what 6 to lose. So these are circles that I think I will be able to earn back reasonably quickly. But in terms of having a line there on the board, there's just no way I'm going to get there as quick as I wanted to. So I'm just currently losing my 6 circles. Okay, so I am going to roll 8 books this month. I think I can read 2 books a week at least. I may read more than that, but they won't come towards the circles, and that's fine. So 8 rolls is what we are going to do today. And to be honest, given the amount of prompts and the amount of circles I've lost, I definitely need to do those 8 rolls. So let's get started. Okay, so we know that no matter what, on top of these 8 rolls, I also have to finish my Moody Wayne book from last month in order to end that circle. So I will be reading the rest of the Moonstone this month and finishing that prompt off. After that, I will finish my 8 books in the roll. And the way the forfeits will work is if I roll, say, fantasy, but I want it to also fit the 2-star forfeit, I will pick a fantasy that I think is going to come out at a 2-star, and I will read that, and it will fit the prompt and the forfeit at the same time. So roll number 1, we're going to go from the Moody Wayne square, because I can't remember where we finished last time, but that seems completely reasonable to go from. And so I can, at this point, either, I think... Yeah, so I could either read the book with a beautiful cover, or I could do another Moody Wayne, and I've had quite a few Moody Wayne books recently, so we are not going to do that. Or 5. Yeah, or it'll be a contemporary. So I'm going to choose contemporary, so that's going to be my first prompt. So contemporary novels, I've got a shelf and a half of them. I don't pick them up as much as I should, so I might let my mum pick one of those for me though, I'm not sure. Okay, so from contemporary, I have now rolled a 3, so let's see where I can go from here. So either I can go over and get a mood read, or I can go down and read a horror. Definitely not in the mood for horror this month, so we'll go with mood read and we'll try and earn that back. Okay, so I'm messing about with these squares now, okay. Right, so let's roll again. And we've rolled a 2. So really I can now go down and I could have another mood read. Yeah, pick up 1 little Cassie, please. Thank you. Yes. So, or I can go across and I can read a book with a beautiful cover. And I have loads of books with beautiful covers. So, yeah, we're going to go with beautiful cover. I've got some stunning books for this. Stain is a really good one. Which, yeah, the cover's this beautiful purple looking cover with this gorgeous character on the front of it. We literally, Wayne and I bought it as a cover buy, so that's a possibility. Now 5, so where we're going, I think the only reasonable place to go now is down with this. I think going across is a bit ridiculous. So yeah, so we're going to go down 5. And I've got to find a hidden gem. So the hidden gem prompt means that I need to find a book that either I think is going to be really good or has extremely high reviews, but just not from many people, or I just have not heard much about it on things like BookTube or recommendations or things like that. So just something in my collection that is possibly a hidden gem. Okay, so now we are going 6. So another Moody Wayne is a possibility. Could read non-fiction, which I read enough of last month, or I can read a BookTube hype book. Now this also came out last month, and funnily enough I didn't actually read it, which is odd, really, considering how much BookTube I read. So this month I'm going to go for that. I'm definitely going to read the BookTube hyped book this month. Now it might be a middle grade book, so I might go for a pinch of magic for this. Or with the BookTube hyped, it could be a young adult. I'm not sure, but then there's quite a bit of fantasy. So I've got a lot of open choices there. Okay, I don't want to add to this TBR. It is a month where I have got to read all of them to get any of the circles, so I cannot afford to be adding extra books when I already have to read 9 as it is. So I'm going to go for mood read, make it very easy on myself to counter those forfeits. Okay, so I now rolled a 2. What I love about this is having rolled that 2, either I have extra things to read, or I have an adapted work, or I have satire, and part of me is feeling satire because I really want to reread some Jasper Ford. But I'm also like, yeah, and I'm definitely not going to be adding to this total. So we're going to go with an adapted read because I'm in the middle of reading the Witcher series. I've got other adapted works that I could read. So I've got choices there, and it'll be really fun to watch some things that they've been adapted from. So, okay, so this is the final roll now, and we're hoping it's still going to be nice to us because we have got those forfeits that we desperately need to counter. So it's 3 across. Now I can either go right across to satire, which I know I had a book in mind for, or I can go down to 5-star prediction, and I just need a really good reading month, so I'm going to go to 5-star prediction, no question about it. Probably going to read Queenslayer by Sebastian de Castell for that, but I do have a couple of options. So I might let my mum pick what 5-star prediction I'm going to read there. Okay, and most importantly, at the end of this, I need to remember that I cannot count any of these circles unless I manage to read and finish 9 books. So I've got to read the Moonstone, and then I have to read 8 books that fit these prompts, plus the forfeits.